to do a little live. Oh my gosh, my lipstick. That's like, this is getting out of control. I have lipstick everywhere all the time lately. I don't know what's going on. I blame the lipstick. I put it on because honestly, I didn't want to traumatize you with you having to see me looking super pale face. So I did it without a mirror. So yeah, I just wanted to stop in and like say hi and see what you guys are up to and catch up a little bit because I've had kind of a crazy week. I want to tell you a bit about it. I'm wondering who's here. Just two people. Okay, now I have two thumbs up and only one person. So somebody like gave me a flyby. I get 3 flyby thumbs ups and they all leave. Okay, well, I'll just wait and see if they show up again. Oh, hi, KJ. Hi, Reg. Hi, Manga. Okay, great. Oh, it's so awesome to see you guys. I want to know how you're all doing. Hi, Will. Hi, Brian. Cool. Good to see you guys here. I hope everything's going well for you. I want to be honest with you. I had not had the time to make a video. Hey, Lincoln, how are you? Hi, Kanga. So happy to see you. Hey, oh, I didn't get to read Kanga's whole message. Hold on. You wanted to email me. You're feeling better but tired. It's okay, Kanga. I totally understand. Do you guys remember I think it was about a month ago, I was doing a live and Kanga was in the chat and she started having some kind of a problem. She was in horrible pain and everybody was saying, go to the emergency. And then we prayed for her and she said she was feeling a bit better. Well, anyway, she ended up having to go to the emergency and she's had some issues, but she's okay. I was seriously worried and I was messaging her everywhere on the email, on like on Patreon, and I was like, Kanga, are you okay? Because I was seriously scared. That would have been awful, but fortunately Kanga's okay. I'm happy to report. Okay, wait, I want to say hi to everybody else who just came in. Oh, hi, Skywalktress. Hi, Vincent from Michigan. Hi. Okay, hold on. Lincoln saved me from the potato speaking. Lincoln, you've been speaking to potatoes again, or are they speaking to you? I don't know. When it gets to that point where like the New World Order gets to you so bad that like you start talking to your potatoes. I mean, I guess it could happen. I'm not even going to tell you to get some help because you're probably not the only one. Yeah, I'm glad she's doing better. Hi, Lace Covered Skies. Hi, Lily. Hey, how are you guys doing? I'll tell you. Yes, I was going to tell you. I had a crazy week. Let me tell you what happened. Lincoln, the potato in chief. You guys know I did a lot of traveling. Okay, well, two things happened. Like I had serious problems with my business because I mean, I did make a company because we live in Canada. And if you're not incorporated, the taxes are crazy. It would have been like 40% of the little paltry income that I have. Hi, Sean. So I was advised to make a corporation. I know, eh? It's so crazy. Like so anti-corporatist, and yet I have a corporation, but it's just a one-woman corporation. So I did that. And then every year I was supposed to file I was supposed to pay a Corp Canada fee, which is not a big deal. It's a small fee. It's like $20. You pay it with your card online. I did this every year, but they changed their interface somewhere in the last couple of years. And when I went to pay it, it took me to another page that I'd never seen before. And it said, file your annual return. And then it said file returns for other years or something like that. So I'm going to give you a second to answer this question. What does file your annual return sound like to you? I'm going to sit here and wait for you to answer. Hi, Josie. Is Anita okay? Well, oh no, Anita never got it together to go do that. She's way behind schedule. She just figured after everyone was like on number 4, she was just so behind that she was like, I'm never going to catch up. Screw it. Okay, what does file your annual return sound like? I think there's a little delay with the chat, so I want to give you a second because I want to see, am I the only one who's so stupid and crazy that I couldn't figure out what it meant? File your tax return. There you go, Kanga. Thank you very much. Kanga, that's exactly what I thought. The only time I've heard file your return No, and this was last summer. I'm not kidding you guys. It said, click here to file your annual return. So just like Kanga and probably many other people, I maybe it's because of my age, I don't know, but I heard file your annual return and I thought my tax return. And then I was like, that's weird because I already filed my corporate taxes. What are you people talking about? So I started thinking and I was like, okay, maybe something happened because of the COVID, because everything that happens in this world now, it's because of COVID. So I thought maybe something happened because of COVID and the government didn't receive my tax filings for 2021 and 2022. No, 2020 and 2021. Maybe it's because of COVID. Huh? So I called my accountant. Oh, hey, Joel. I called my accountant and I was like, hey, listen, Shannon, I'm trying to do this thing online, but they keep telling me I have to file my annual returns, and I'm under the impression that Corp Can won't let me pay my Corp Can fee because they think I haven't filed my taxes. And Shannon, my accountant, who's a genius, by the way, she's just like, oh no, they just want you to file your Corp, pay your Corp Can fee. She Okay, that's what she said. So I went back in there, tried to do it again. I click on it again, pay your fee. It takes me to this page. It says file your returns. So I was like, okay, something's wrong. So I think I emailed them and they were telling me to file my returns. So what I did was I sent the government a registered letter, which included a print, like a copy of my what do they call that? Notice of assessment for 2020 and 2021, along with a letter that explained, you keep telling me to file my annual returns, but I have filed my taxes for 2020 and 2021 because they were threatening to close my company. So I send them this letter, registered mail, and I thought, well, that should take care of it. It's not like I didn't respond. Well, it turned out that file your annual returns is new code words for pay your Corp Can fee. So I don't know what they thought when this crazy bat here in Quebec keeps getting notices that I have to pay my Corp Can fee, which is called file your annual returns. And I'm so old and confused that I think they want me to file my tax return. And I'm sending registered letters to the government telling them, what are you talking about? I already filed my return. I'm calling my accountant, and even my accountant isn't getting across that it's the same thing. She didn't tell me, no, that's what file annual returns means, pay your Corp Can fee. Like, nobody ever actually said that. So I went off to Europe thinking, well, it's got to be sorted now because I paid my fees. I mean, I filed my taxes. Well, it wasn't sorted, and the government closed my company, and I had to go through this whole big thing with my accountant to reopen it, and then also prove that it's a real company and not like some front for the mafia or something. You guys still there? Ah, okay, yeah. Joel, yeah, never did income tax. Well, you've never done it. Okay, this is actually a corporation, so you can't open a corporation and not file your tax. So you can try if you want, and let me know how it goes. I'd be interested to know. But I just pretty much just did it. So yeah, like so they like closed it, and I had, yeah, it was frustrating, and I felt so stupid, and I was like, how could I make this mistake? And then now the government wants me to prove that it's really that I really make YouTube videos and that I'm not like laundering money or like setting up some fraudulent something. So I had to do all this stuff. I did everything. I had to pay my accountant a lot of money. Um, and then I had to actually file my tax returns for 2022. And it turns out, like, because last year what I did was I went to Europe, and since I made videos of everything I did in Europe, and since what I do is make videos, then I need to claim all the expenses. And like I have them. I'm looking around now to show you, like I have all these little pieces of paper and I have my credit card bills, and I had to, like, I had just listed the restaurants that I put in videos, and she's like, no, you have to like account for everything. I mean, I was just gonna say, well, listen, it was partly business, partly pleasure, so I'm not gonna list every single thing. And she was like, no, you should, because it was a big trip and you filmed everything. So basically, I had to itemize every single thing that I ate while I was in Europe in an Excel sheet. Put the date, the amount, where I ate it. I have to find the receipts. I had to organize everything. So I've been doing that this week, and like every train ticket, everything that I did, I couldn't like just leave stuff out and just like not claim it. I had to pretty much like, she said, you gotta put everything in there, and then I have to actually make videos of all that stuff, which I had been doing, right? I had been doing it to a point, and then I came back and I just kind of put it on pause, and I lost all my Germany footage because something went wrong with my drive and it died. But that's okay because Germany was all on live. Basically, this is what I've been dealing with. So I guess you can imagine like what a hassle. Is it worth it for a little tax break? Oh, Babu. Babu's always like really negative, eh? I don't know what you're like in real life, but in the comments, you're like one of those people that would probably be really easy to argue with, because like you always say something that like kind of implies like, yeah, you did something wrong, or it's like like there's a sort of accusatory tone. I don't know if you do that on purpose. The tax break with the corporation is not little. It was a whole big thing. Like when I was not, when I didn't incorporate, it all went on my personal income, and it put me in a higher bracket, but also like made it so that I wouldn't be eligible for, I don't know, other kinds of support. I mean, this is Canada. I don't know where you're from, Babu. It's Canada. So you have like an exemption amount of 10,000, and then you get taxed on everything that's over that. And so if your regular income, let's say like what I had from home care was factored in, I mean, the exemption was factored in, but everything outside of that is not. So you literally get like 40%. 40% of your income. The last time I did my taxes, it was like tax at 38%. Does that sound like little? Because when you do it separately corporate, it's like 10%. So I'd say that's worth it. Yeah, it's worth it. And there's some other advantages to it also, like you can have a business account, and it's just sort of better in general when you're actually running a business. I mean, at this point I don't really make a lot of money, so it seems kind of weird. But yeah, they definitely give a lot of, where's that coming from? The corporations pay way lower tax. Hold on, I just want to shut off my sound here. So at the time, like earlier in the YouTube days there, I would make like a couple $1,000s a month, and I really had to incorporate, or they would have taken almost half of it. You think I wanted to give 38 or 30 or 40% of my YouTube earnings to the government? Not really. So, at this point, I'm not going to just close the company. It's still worth it, I guess. I don't know. Maybe not. I really don't make much with it. But anyway, I just don't have the bandwidth now to deal with like closing it and all that stuff. But that's what I've been dealing with all week. Like sitting here putting tons of stuff into Excel. How about you guys? Oh yeah, the freedom of speech issue up here is really bad. I mean, I can't even believe like Canada, it's not even the country that I was used to living in. I mean, I barely recognize it. It's just, well, now at this point, Babu, I don't actually gain anything because I technically don't have any income once I have expenses. But it's just complicated to like close your corporation, and then I'd have to close the bank account. So at this point, since I really don't make enough money for it to make a difference, there isn't anything to be gained. But when I did want to go into conferences, because I own a media company, that was something I could use to get in, so I could go in as press. So there's other advantages. It's not only about money, you know. At this point, financially, it wouldn't make any difference financially if it was on mine or my company. It wouldn't make any difference. Other than I get a bank account, I get an extra credit card, I can get a line of credit. I can do things like that. So there's some advantages. Um, so what were we talking about? Oh yeah, the censorship and their bill C11 or whatever. It's gonna be ridiculous. I mean, I think it's pretty much done. Oh yeah, no, YouTube take okay, YouTube they like, well, I don't know, I have a network now, so the network it takes a percentage, it's not that high. YouTube withholds 25% for taxes for the IRS, and you cannot. That's like there's no deduction. That's your gross out of the gross income, not net. There are no deductions involved. Actually, I asked my accountant about that. I was like, how can they take 25% of your gross income? Usually you're taxed on your net income. But she said, like, you'd have to do like a separate thing of taxes. And considering that I don't make enough money, the amount that, like, if I wanted her to do American taxes for me as well, it wouldn't even be worth it because I'd have to pay her to do that. And I don't know how that all works, but like, yeah, they just take it right off the top. They withhold a bit, obviously, on, like memberships and donations. Still worth it though to get these things because it helps you in other ways as well. Like it helps your channel with the algorithm, which is worth more sometimes than money. But yeah, YouTube withholds quite a lot more and more over the years. My email, thetruthergirls@yahoo.ca. And then they decided to withhold 25% tax on all the stuff that comes from America. And yeah, like they just hold everything, Yeah. But whatever. I mean, who cares, right? I'm still here anyway. It's too late. I'm not going anywhere. I'm stuck here. It's like a habit now. It's a bad habit now. I just keep coming on here. I made friends with you guys now, so I'm still here. But I'm not talking about the news so much lately because I just was like, I don't know. I wanted to put, because you know what? Like when you're running after the news all the time, that takes up a lot of time and energy. Like you would not believe how much time goes into just finding information. Like what do you want to talk about? I don't have a research team. Nobody's sending me really good, leads or links or whatever. I don't have any help. So it's just me like sifting through tons and tons of stuff, most of which I'm not interested in. I just looked at your comment there, high-speed drifter. Yeah, most accountants don't want to deal with small business, I guess. Yeah, they'll deal with you if you're incorporated though. But oh my God, I'm so tired. I just lost my train of thought. I was just talking about something. I got distracted by a comment. See, that's why I don't always answer the comments. You guys help me out. What the hell was I talking about? Sifting through the news. Yeah. No, it takes a lot of time and like you're sitting here putting links together and whatever stuff, and I just feel like I've said it all, you guys. I said it before 10 years ago. I said so much of it. I can't keep doing this. I have to take care of my kid and my partner and my mother, and then the rest of the time I'm going to sit here on my ass. I've been trying to get out more and do some thrifting. Do I miss the States? Yeah, you guys know I lived there for a while. It was such a nice house. We had a house in Vermont, so that was sort of our country house. We spent like half the year there. Yeah, Vermont was a beautiful place. I miss it. I miss the little graveyard up the hill too. Miss my mother's, property in Enosburg. Vermont was cool. I remember it back in the 70s. It was like, okay, now it's not like that anymore. Yeah, lived in Vermont. Well, I'm not like as a resident, but like my parents, they never let us spend any time here, so we were there, all the time. Like for the entire summer, we were just captive, and all our European friends would come down, and nobody had any clothes on. We did European stuff. That's how it is. Well, not the adult men and stuff. It wasn't like that, but like Europeans let the kids run around and the women like walk around. It was a different thing. It was like very European, and so I'm just saying, like that was just something that comes to mind from my childhood. They had this house, yeah, and we spent a lot of time there. And if I seem kind of like, oh, it's because, as a North American teenager, I wanted to mingle with North American people a little bit more. But my mother was a stewardess from Germany, and her friends were all German and Swiss stewardesses, and she still was close with them, and basically the only friends we had was her European friends and their kids that would visit. And in the summer they would come down to Vermont, and I felt like we were just sort of captive on the property. That was the only thing, and they wouldn't drive anywhere. It wasn't like North Americans, if they would have a a country house, I have a feeling that they would take the kids on lots of outings and like go places. But my parents, it was just like, you will be here in the country, Sonia, and you will like it, and you will breathe the fresh air, and you know, you will be healthy and you will like it. What was it? You will not go anywhere and you will be happy. Yeah. Well, why are you complaining? And every time we went to Vermont, I got like, as I got older, I got more and more nervous about going, because the older I got, the less I wanted to park my ass in the country. Hi, Jenren. Okay, I have a sibling. I try to keep it neutral so people don't know too much about my family, but the other people in my family had no problem being on the property and finding things to do, like gardening and chopping wood and whatever else needed to be done on the property. But I guess I was more of a city girl, and I would get nervous that when I had to leave, I would have like practically an anxiety attack. Oh my God, I'm going to be stuck in Vermont for 3 months. Like, school's out, yay, oh no, we're going to Vermont. And look, I mean, Vermont's great, but I wanted to see more Vermont. Vermont would have been perfect if I wasn't stuck. I felt like, I mean, I didn't even know what rehab was, but I felt like I was in rehab. Like, you're stuck there, there's nothing, there's no nothing, you know, nowhere to go, you can't run away, can't get in trouble. And so, you know, once I got a little older, like 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, oh man, I'm gonna be so bored down there. There was no TV also. My parents were the kind of people, talk about granola, no junk food, no gum. We were not allowed to chew gum. We were not allowed to eat any kind of junk. Hold on, let me just plug this in. I don't want to die again. That would suck. And, okay, it's not bad. We didn't even have a TV. At one point, they had this little tiny black and white TV, but there was no reception. No TV, no VCR, no cable, no video games, not even a little hand thing, you know, a handset, whatever the kids had. I don't even know what it was because I never had one. No TV, nothing, nothing. Just you and your crazy brain trying to keep yourself busy. Yeah. Oh no, Captain Crunch. Oh my gosh. And she was a bit of an elitist though, my mother. Like, when we go to Vermont, okay, like, these are all farmers, you know, so they show up in the supermarket wearing their farming clothes. No, they weren't religious. They were like atheists. I mean, officially Jewish, but like, my mother's probably agnostic, my father atheist. She was a bit of an elitist, you know, because she'd take us to the supermarket, Grand Union, and she'd kind of like look at what other people had in their shopping carts. I'm not kidding you. Like, if they were fat, she'd be like, well, no wonder she has such a belly. Look at all the chips she has in her shopping cart. My mother had to like judge other people. And then, yeah, Grand Union. And when I was a kid, Grand Union seemed like it was huge. And then when I went back, when I was grown, I was like, wow, it wasn't that big. But it seemed at the time, because we called it the American supermarket, because over here supermarkets were, well, she took us to the European supermarket. So it's just a little thing with just like European stuff and that grainy bread that it's not even like North American grain. It's like just made out of grains. It's not even like bread grainy. It's just grain pressed together into like a square brick, you know. Anyway, yeah, I went to Grand Union, and then we'd go into the cereal aisle, and of course we were like, Mom. Oh, they went out of business? Too bad. We were like, Mom, can we have this? And she'd say, certainly not. She kind of like, you know, thumbed her nose or whatever at like the American diet. Well, the standard American diet. Hi, Pedro. Hi, Salty Texas Ranger. No, we never had Booberry. We had nothing. You were only allowed to watch PBS. We weren't even allowed that. You know how strict they were here? Even, she was right. I think it was a bit hardcore. I really do. But then again, I mean, I never have a taste for like any of that stuff. Not so much. So, I don't know. Was it? I think it was a bit extreme, I'll be honest with you. It was a bit extreme. Sometimes I got like a sugar craving in the evening, and I would go and look in the cupboard, and my mother was obsessed with fiber. So we'd look into the snack cupboard, and Americans, like, they have like nice, you know, snack bars and like tasty things, right? I mean, all North Americans, not just Americans. I'd open this cupboard. You know what was in there? Prunes. Prunes and figs and like those really dry European crackers. And if I was very lucky, there might be some digestive cookies with chocolate if I was extremely lucky. I mean, it just pretty much sucked. Yeah. And absolutely no gum, no media, nothing. So yeah, Armor of God, looking back, I would have hated it too. Look, it was a beautiful place. I love Vermont. I really do. And I miss it. I really miss the States. I lived in Massachusetts too, right? For like 3.5 years. No candy for you, Kanga. But yeah, like being there in Vermont, I wasn't very outdoorsy and I was bored to death. I mean, I really was, you know. I mean, I would panic and I would start packing all my paint. Because what I did was I played piano and I painted and I would bring like stacks, like bags of piano music and a whole like, you know, box, like a tackle box full of paint and all kinds of stuff. No, Massachusetts, I was there alone. I was in one of those schools like Paris Hilton. One of those experimental schools. I'll have to do a video about that some other time though. I don't want to get into it. Oh, I loved America though, man. Listen, when I was in that school, and there was one good thing though, we had summer trips. No, it wasn't a boarding school. Okay, boarding school makes it sound like you go home sometimes. This was like year round, like a residential school, but not Indian, obviously. No, this was like you're stuck there. A boarding school doesn't even cover it. I kind of don't like when people say boarding school because it makes it sound like it's normal. It wasn't normal at all. Like Franklin Files, I don't know. No, that it wasn't the same one, but it's like you're something like that. It was closed for child endangerment, but unfortunately, after I left, she tried to trick you with the quick and the real cocoa. My mother, that's true. So okay, once I got out of the grasp of her like super strict diet, yeah, I did a video about it years ago. Yeah, it was something about Dennis. You want to know why I was there? I was anorexic. Anyway, that's another story. Like I'll have to tell you, but oh my gosh, now you're asking me all these questions. Okay, my mother tried to trick me after like I got out of the clutches of her super strict, healthy, overly healthy diet. I got myself like a big quick habit. I loved quick. And so I was just drinking quick with milk all the time. I came to stay with my mother and she tried to trick me. She thought I wouldn't notice if she took a container of quick and she filled it with cocoa. Cocoa and some sugar. I sure noticed. It's just not the same. Yeah. So that school, though, the thing was that they did do summer trips, like if you were privileged enough to go on them. And they did summer trips to different countries. I always did the American ones. And I had this goal. I wanted to see like every state. And I think I was just like fascinated with America because it's such a diverse country, you know, like it's like cold ice on one end and then tropical Florida on another. And then you've got desert and, you know, you've got the East Coast and you've got the West Coast and all kinds of mountains. So I thought it was a really cool place. So I went to about 26 out of all the states, you know. No, it wasn't a rehab. Okay, if you guys really want to know, but I promised myself I wouldn't be on here for too long because I have to go do a tape up and chill. Yeah, Nesquik. Yeah, that's it. I practically lived on that. Yeah, thanks for reminding me, Joel. I'll tell you a little bit about the school, but I really don't want to get into it. I want to talk about it some other time. So, okay, when I was a teenager, I had an eating disorder, and my parents wanted to get me some help, but they sent me to see like a psychiatrist or whatever, and those people said that I should go to like an eating disorder clinic. But the eating disorder clinic for teenagers was at the Douglas, which is like the mental hospital, which is normal because that's where all the mental health services are. So, like I would have gone there. I don't think it would have fixed my problem, honestly, because it was pretty, I don't know. It was like having OCD. It was pretty bad. And I don't think I was ready to like recover at that point. But anyway, that was one of they should have just probably left me alone because I was doing okay other than that. I was accepted into this illustration and design program in CJEP, which is like junior college, which was hard to get into. And out of 350 people, they only took 50 and they took me. and I thought I was going to go and become an illustrator or like a designer. And so yes, they said I should go to the eating disorder ward, and my parents, exactly, they didn't want the stigma that it was associated with the Douglas. But like seriously, who would have known? Who would have known the stigma? Who was going to find out that I went to like some mental hospital for an eating disorder? Who has access to that information? So they took me to Massachusetts to get assessed, and they said, oh, she should be in a closed environment. And so they gave us a couple of brochures, and one of them was to a horrible school called Alon. There's some documentaries on here, you guys. I don't know the name of it, like the documentary off the top of my head, but it's called Elan, Elan. Look up Elan School documentary on here. It will blow your mind. Oh, it's okay, Red Spiral. I'm over it. Like, I'm healed by Jesus. Seriously, I don't carry any burden from this. I feel like because I was healed spiritually, so I'm not burdened by any of this. I can just tell you the story. It doesn't bother me. So yeah, they gave us these brochures, and Elan was one, and man, am I lucky that I didn't end up there, because it was horrible. I mean, where I was also bad, but Elan was very physically horrible. And they would have the kids put on like a helmet and then box each other, and they had actually somebody passed away during one of those rituals, I guess you could say. For real, it was like in the news, and yeah, so there's a documentary about it. So yeah, I chose Desisto because there were horses in the brochure. When I got there, I found out that a lot of people had chosen Desisto because there were horses in the brochure. And I also found out when I got there that there weren't actually any horses. Yeah, we all found out the hard way. We were like, where are the horses? And they're like, ha ha, yeah. Oh, look, we got another one who chose us because of the horses in the brochure. Come on, sucker, you know. Get to work. So yeah, then I ended up being there for over 3 years. I'll tell you about it some other time, but you can look up Desisto School. Yeah, they tricked us. The bastards. But I mean, look, it would have been, Elan would have been worse. I mean, it's better than Elan. I'm just glad I didn't end up there. I don't know what would have happened to me. And it screws people up, though. Yeah, marketing employees. I don't think they ever had any horses. They had 2 campuses. They had one in Florida. I was so dumb. I should have gone to Florida. I should have gone to the campus in Florida. I mean, it might have sucked, but at least we would have had nice Florida weather. I stayed in Massachusetts for like 3 and something years, you know. Desisto. It was like what happened with Paris Hilton, where she was like sent to this horrible place. And the thing was, like, when you turned 18, you couldn't even just say, oh, I want to leave. They wouldn't let you leave. I had to run away in the middle of the night at 19. Elan, Elan, not Elon like Elon Musk. Elan, like how you say tree in Israeli, tree in Hebrew. Yeah, they wouldn't let you leave, so I had to plan my escape, and I had to run away. And I did. And I remember I was so scared of the dark, and I was on the side of the highway, and it was like so pitch dark in the middle of the night. It was Massachusetts. It was like 3 in the morning. It was September, I think. And I went and sat on someone's porch. I found out after it was the gardener of the school. I hid on her porch. And then as soon as the sky turned like blue, not blue, but like that dark midnight blue that it gets like right when it's just before dawn, I started walking through the woods. And you know, sometimes when you really want to do something, you just get the courage. Like normally I would have been too chicken. I would have never been in the woods in the night, never. But that time I was like, that's it. I don't care what I have to go through. Hitchhiked, I did the first time I ran away, but the second time, wait, I'm just looking at this comment here. Salty Texas Ranger. Where did you go after you escaped? Were your parents mad? And I wonder if there's anyone left in Montreal in August. Yeah, there's people left in August. They don't all go away. Where are they supposed to go? Well, okay, so I was in the woods, and I got to, like, there was a little town before Pittsfield, and there was like this, of course I went into the cemetery. I remember, like, I was up in the cemetery waiting, like trying to figure out what to do next. And I was wearing these shoes, like they were like Doc Martin type shoes, but shoes, not boots, from what I remember. And they were like getting completely destroyed, and my feet were all full of blisters. And I was like in the cemetery. I was hiding in the cemetery because I was like, they're not going to look for me here. They're never going to look for me here. I was like hiding behind the tombstones. I had my journal, and I was like writing, like, what am I going to do next? Yeah, I was alone. I wouldn't run away with someone else. They would have screwed it up. It was a case of, like, if you want to get the job done right, you got to do it yourself. So then there was a gas station, and I went up to the car at the gas station. First, actually, I was walking along the road, and the cook saw me. And I said, "You're not going to try to take me back now?" And he said, "No, but I'm going to tell them that I saw you." And keep in mind, I was 19 years old. I was an adult. But they would send out these vans, and they would bring kids, and the kids would grab you. And if you resisted, they would charge you with assaulting a minor. It was really crazy. So I found a guy at the gas station, and he gave me a ride to Pittsfield. And normally nobody had any money. Yeah, the cook was called Harry. He was a good guy. He was kind of like an Anita kind of guy, you know. I don't want to say the F word because I don't know YouTube these days, but that's what he was, you know, what Anita says all the time. Anyway, I hate that with this YouTube crap. Okay, he was a fucker, let's just say, okay? He's one of us, you know? Harry from the kitchen. Fuckers. Yeah. Anyway, screw that, YouTube. Oh, yeah, like, basically, yeah, they would send the kids out, and the kids would kidnap you, sort of, put you in the van. It was scary, too, like, because I ran away before, and you see the vans, like, they're following you, and it was a bit Bruce Willis, you know, you're, like, trying to hide from these vans. I'll tell you a story another time about, like, the first time I ran away, I guess. So I got to I got to that gas station, and the guy there agreed to give me a ride to Pittsfield. And normally we had no money, but I had $50 on me, and I used most of it to buy myself a ticket to Montreal. And I just hid there in Pittsfield until the bus came. And I had my Medicare card, didn't even have a picture on it, and they let me over the border with just that. Thank God. And yeah, I came to Montreal. I had like $2.35 because I bought a piece of pizza for 65 cents. So I had literally no money. And I met some guys on the bus. I met these Haitian guys that spoke French. And one of them, Jean Milou, he told me, like, I told him my story, and he told me I could stay with them. And he was really like an angel, the guy, because he took me into his house. There was no funny stuff. He didn't do anything. He was really cool. It was really nice to me. I stayed with him like about 3 days, and he drove me downtown to find a job. And I got a job, and then I got some money from that after a few days, you know. And it was because of them that I didn't come to Montreal and like end up at the bus station, a broke 19-year-old with like nowhere to go. It was because I guess Jean Milou gave me like a few days of grace here, you know, to get on my feet. So that was cool. So I never forgot him. I never forgot his name. And then I got in touch with some friends from high school. Yeah. Oh, my parents. Yeah, they wanted me to go back, and I was like, no, forget it. Yeah. Yeah, he was a Christian, you know, Jean Milou. Well, he was Haitian, he was Catholic or whatever. Yeah, they were good guys, you know. He lived with his brother, and I mean, it might seem crazy like that. I would just like go with some guys I met on the bus, but I just knew they were okay, and I was right. Yeah. So that's how I came back up here. So that was the other time I lived in the States. A live meetup. How you escaped to Mexico. Oh, Red Spiral, yeah? Hmm. I guess that's possible. Are you on my Patreon? Can you message me on there so we can... I've never done a live meetup. Our parents never wanted us to have money? Joel, I don't know about that. I think my parents wanted me to marry a rich man like Anita. This has always been my dream. You are on there? Okay, well, message me on there and we'll talk about it. Yeah, that would be cool. So yeah, I spent all those summers in Vermont getting super bored, and then I spent time in Massachusetts, and then I still like traveled all over the US. Oh, you're not? Okay, well then email me at thetruthergirls@yahoo.ca. You can reach me there. Thetruthergirls@yahoo.ca. How's Aaron? Aaron's good. And I'm gonna do an update. He got like on a trip about fixing his apartment. I'm not sure if that video that we did motivated us. Oh no, it's fine. Red Spiral is fine. Anyway, people join my Patreon for like $1. It's just a way to like, I don't know, it's just a way to like keep in touch, and I'm trying to like connect us more, and I want people to message each other and get to know each other. I made that chat room and I kept telling people, go in the chat, talk to each other, get to know each other. But I don't know, maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't think so. Anyway, yeah, so we made a video about like how they keep wanting to evict us and how they won't do repairs, and maybe it was that, but Aaron got really motivated and he's been fixing up his apartment like you wouldn't believe, and I'm going to show you a video. It looks a lot better. And then the landlord, oh my god, this bastard sent Aaron another notice for eviction. Can you believe it? That's all he wants to do is kick us out. And that would be like, I don't want to say disaster, but that would be pretty serious if Aaron got evicted. Because he's disabled and he doesn't have a lot of money. Like, where's he going to go? You know where he would end up? You know what they would do? They would put him like in a hospital or put him in a temporary residence. They would put Aaron in the system. If Aaron ever, of course he's disabled, he's paraplegic. Yeah, he had a spinal cord injury and he has a traumatic brain injury too, yeah. And his right hand is like this. Aaron is like pretty heavily disabled. Yeah, I guess you can't tell in the video, but yeah, he is. So if my email, thetruthergirls@yahoo.ca. I guess I could. Okay, so what the hell happened? Oh, he had a bike accident with a bicycle a long time ago. But anyway, yeah, the landlord. So Aaron has this apartment. He's not paying a lot of rent, and me too. He's paying less than I am, though, like quite a lot less. So the landlord is always trying to like find reasons to evict us, especially Aaron. And so I go to pay his rent. I think it was in January, and the secretary is like, yeah, he owes X amount of money. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, oh, he owes a back rent or something. And I was like, that's not possible. So she shows me something on the computer, and I'm like, I think what it is his subsidy didn't come in for 1 month because it said he owed an extra $400 or something. And then I thought maybe it'll come in, and it'll just come in late. But like right after that, they sent a notice of eviction to Aaron again. They just tried to evict me last summer. Now they're trying to evict Aaron for non-payment of rent. And so I called them again. I called the secretary and I was like, "What is this? Why is he evicting?" She says, he didn't pay his rent for December." And I said, "That's not possible." Because I do it. Actually, I go down and pay his rent every month because I have a bit better memory. So like I'll get it done and I won't get distracted. Exactly, CHSLD, that's where they would put him. What a nightmare. So yeah, I paid the rent, and but then they're like, no, you didn't pay the rent for December. So in the meantime, I went down, paid it a second time just in case. So he went to the bank, and sure enough, the bank statement says that he paid his rent every month. So the only possibility would be that his subsidy, because he has a rent subsidy, that the check for the subsidy didn't come in 1 month. And instead of the landlord taking it up with the subsidy people or writing a letter explaining, like yeah, but we had the receipts. Yeah, we have everything. The landlord never sent any communication. Usually they'll send you a letter and they'll explain what's missing and then you'll sort it out. But he never did that. So we never knew what the problem was. I thought maybe his subsidy check was late. I figured maybe it had come in after because I didn't hear anything else about it. Never got any word from the landlord. Next thing you know, it's an eviction notice. Well, an application to the court, which is so screwed up. Imagine a disabled person on a fixed income with a rent subsidy. The landlord never even tries to communicate with him and applies for eviction because 1 month his subsidy check didn't come in. That's so evil, isn't that? It's not just evil. No, it's not low income housing. It's not. He just has a special check because he's so disabled. But the landlord like doesn't care. Can you imagine how evil though? At a time like this where the cost of rent is like double what he even gets for his check, he wouldn't be able to afford rent. He would have no choice but to go to like a government home, which he would never do. Aaron, he likes to have his computers and make music, like, and do his thing. Up at that place where my mother is, there's people that are young that are there because they had a stroke or something. No, it's not rent controlled, not rent stabilized. My rent is just normal rent. It's just normal apartment. It's just Aaron has a subsidy. But if he moves, he loses the subsidy is to reapply. So it like takes another 10 years to get it back. But yeah, like I've met people up there that they're my age and they just had a stroke and they're stuck there forever. And they won't even let them off the property. They're like literally prisoners up at the retirement home. This one woman, this native woman I was telling you about, I asked one day, like, can I like take you around the block or you want to, they wouldn't even let me take her for a walk, nothing. She's not even allowed like outside of the garden. She's a total prisoner. How can you live like that? That's horrible. Oh, whoops. And all that happened was a stroke. And for that, she's like a prisoner. Oh, the same thing happened to you, Kanga. The landlord gave you an eviction notice even though it wasn't your fault. Okay, yeah, well, and then you borrowed from your sister so the check came. Yeah, well, I mean, Aaron knows he could always borrow from me. It's not a problem. I've got his back. But I didn't even know. Oh, good to see you too. Uncool, paranoia. Did you ever get in touch with the radio show people? I was pushing her on the radio, Freedomizer, on the owner of Freedomizer. I was like, you got to get Uncool on your show. Give her like, make her co-host or something. She's really good. You have a nice voice, easy to listen to and interesting and pleasant. She does a great like live stream. So yeah, I've been dealing with that kind of nonsense. Apartments like my apartment, okay, I pay $1,085. Wait, no, in total I pay $1,260, but I have heating and parking, which I think is very good for downtown because I've been here 15 years. Normally an apartment like this would go for probably $2,000, maybe $2,200 with the parking, heated and parking. I probably pay like $1,000 less. I don't know, something like that. Uncool, I know that you're busy, but look, think of it this way. You can do your radio show and stream at the same time. You don't have to do two separate things. You can put up your stuff like you do with your screen capture or with your streaming software. And the radio show, it's like being on the phone with your headset or through the computer. I think you could probably do the two at the same, like kill two birds with one stone and be on the radio and like you get a lot more audience. That's probably how I grew my channel in the first place because I had a radio show. So that's how it happened. Sending me an email. Okay, Red Spiral. Yeah, about $2,500 for an apartment like this. Yeah, my rent is low, but that's how it works, Like if you get your apartment and you don't move, and even if you accept, like I accept an increase every year, but the increases are smaller than what they would do if I moved out, they would increase it by like $500 or $700. So it's not my problem that other people are moving and their rent's getting jacked up. The landlords take advantage of the fact that people don't know they can refuse their rent increase and stay in their apartment. They can refuse it, or they can just accept a smaller increase But people don't know that. They think that if they don't want to pay their increase, they have to move. And that's probably true in a lot of places, but it isn't in Montreal. People don't know. So people, and the crazy thing is Montreal. Okay, yeah, send me a message, Uncle. Montreal has a moving day. The 1st of July is moving day for the whole city. So can you imagine on the 1st, everyone is moving in and moving out. And the city is just full of moving trucks. There's furniture everywhere. And I just think it's weird. Why is there like a single moving day, right? Does that make any sense? I never heard of such a thing anywhere else. And I've never observed it. I've always moved at like weird times. Like you can take an apartment at a different time of the year, but I think what they'll do is they'll make it so your lease goes to July 1st and then the next one it always goes July to July. I've never had that personally. Actually, wait, no. I think my other apartment before this one, I think it did go till July. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I got evicted from that one. Yeah. I got evicted because he said he wanted to move in himself, but he was lying. He just kicked me out so he could like divide the apartment into smaller apartments and make more money. And I was 8 months pregnant when I had to move. Landlords, man, seriously. Oh, it's August in New York. Okay, so we're not the only ones who have a moving day. Yeah, uncool. Can you believe he evicted me while I was 8 months pregnant? I had to move all my stuff. And I came here, I had like no furniture. Like I didn't have my bed even. Because I had to, it was so complicated. I had to like start moving some of my stuff and then move my bad self over here and then like pick up the rest of my stuff. It was awkward. And I was living on like the 3rd floor on a walk up. The other one I had to like go up and down the stairs. I was all pregnant and everything. I couldn't really afford movers. At the end, I had a little van for like just my furniture, but I seem to remember like bringing stuff over somehow. I don't know, was it a taxi or was it like on foot? It was just a few blocks away, but it was so crazy. And so Aaron felt so bad for me because I didn't have a proper bed. I don't know where I was sleeping. And he decided that a blow up mattress would be good. And he got me one of those air mattresses. It has like a machine or something that blows it up. You seen the commercials? You know, it's like those infomercials where they blow up the bed and like poof, you have a spare bed for your guests and they tuck them in and like, you know, they got nice sheets on it. They look so comfy. It's not like that. It was horrible. And when you're pregnant and you're on this air mattress and it doesn't support you at all, it was so bad. I think I had it for 3 days and I was like, take it away. I'll sleep on the floor. Because I used to sleep at his place a lot. And then I got so fat when I was pregnant. Well, I mean, I was pregnant, right? That I didn't fit into his bed anymore. Yeah, Aaron's an angel. He's so sweet. He's a good guy. I was so big. So I was this tiny little woman, right? And I used to easily fit in his bed. And I swear I never slept at my place. I had this place and I had my stuff there, but I basically lived with Aaron for like a whole year. I mean, I was always at his place. I got pregnanter and pregnanter. And eventually we had to put like a side table at the edge of the bed to like put my belly on it because there was no room for it. I was too big for the bed. And I finally had to go and sleep on the couch. That's crazy. Wait, what's this? 6,500 for an apartment. That's crazy. Like, who has that kind of money? How do you get that kind of money? How do people get that much? I guess maybe if you're like a programmer or something. You live on a sailboat. Oh. Yeah, when I was in London, they told me the average rent was $10,000 or something. It's like, how do people get that much money? I've never had that kind of income. And when I, like years ago when YouTube was good and I was making like a couple thousand on YouTube a month, that was like the first time in my life where I wasn't like dirt poor. And I was so used to being poor. And what's really weird is that before, when I had always been poor, I never had any money and I was used to it. I never worried about money for some reason. Then I made money on YouTube, and I guess my standard of living, like my expectations got a little bit higher, you know? And then after when that all dried up, then I was like, oh no, how am I gonna manage, you know? Of course, the cost of living and everything went up too, but it was really weird. I remember being so broke. Like I had like $450 a month at one point. I was sharing an apartment. The apartment was $325. and we shared a bus pass. It was like I had no money, like literally nothing. Like, how did I manage like that? I don't know. I, I can't imagine, but I did. As long as I had a roof over my head and I had food, I was like, yeah, I'm okay. I don't know. 5,400 for rent. What do your friends do for a living? Yeah, I bet the RV park in Mexico is cheaper than that. What do your friends do to get that kind of money? I mean, that's a lot of money. Like, let's say if I was making $100,000 a year, that to me that seems like a lot of money. Let's say net. Would I want to spend $6,000 a month on rent? That's like $72,000 a year. Why? If I made that much money, I would try to keep a hobo apartment and put all that money into some kind of stocks and like let it mushroom and then live off the interest. There's no way. Like, I don't understand. Like, it seems like people like they take in money and they just spend it right away and like, you know, I don't know. Or do they make more? Do they make like $1 million a year? Your rent went from 350 to 375. You sold a car for a down payment on your first house. Wow. And that actually at the time that would be enough. I don't know. I mean, up here apparently it's not that hard to get a house. They have some projects where you can get a condo with no down payment. And I could probably get one, but it wouldn't be anywhere near here. It would be like way out east, way, way out. It would be really far from everything. You told me your you told me your real name that used to follow me back in the day, your professional name? Oh, okay. Maybe I don't remember now. Probably don't remember. But I don't remember a lot of things. Sorry. It's not you, it's me. So, yeah, I mean, I love talking to you guys, but I should probably go pretty soon. Usually I notice I come on here and I talk to you for about an hour and 40 minutes. That seems to be like the magic number, and then I finally shut up. But I should probably not stay here so long. I might tell you some more at some point about my experience with that school. Oh man, you guys actually, it's weird because I've been on YouTube a long time and I always just made videos like about newsy stuff and like what was going on in the world. But I've had like a really kind of unusual life and I have a lot of stories. I just never told anybody. Like all kinds of stuff. So I don't know, maybe I'll tell you some stories sometime. Oh, I love you guys too. Yeah, I was so tired. I almost fell asleep at like 8 o'clock and I was like forcing myself to stay up. And when I get tired, I get twitchy because I have restless leg syndrome. So I'm all like, my legs get all twitchy and stuff. Oh, thank you, Salty. I get so twitchy. So I was really like struggling. I was like, either I'm going to fall asleep or I'm just going to like lie here and do Sudoku and Twitch, or I'm just going to force myself to get up. And so I like, okay, screw it. I'm just going to go live because there's something about you guys. You like energize me. You guys are fun and interesting. And yeah, man, I'm just gonna keep staying on here because yeah, they can't get rid of me now. They're stuck with me here. Yeah, I have restless leg syndrome. I have it really badly. Okay. Oh my God, no. I You energize me. Well, I'm glad it goes both ways though. That's cool. Thank you. It means something to me to hear that from you. I have something I have to tell you. Thoughts on the Chinese spy balloons. Okay, I have something that I have to tell you because you guys know I've been having issues with my health. And it's gotten to the point where I'm tired of hearing people's advice because I have tried all these things. I used to be the one giving people advice. I don't anymore because I know how annoying it is now. Um, I think I might know what's wrong with me. I have the Jimmy legs. That's because of my pregnancy. It triggered it. I have something. Okay, you know the video where I was like, the one with the foot pads. I was like, yeah, there's something else that I haven't told you guys. And it's weird too, okay, because lots of people, they have this thing going on and they're not shy about it and they tell people. But I guess I come from a time where people didn't talk about this kind of stuff. And I'm like this close to like disclosing. I'm like this close because I want to tell you guys. I want to tell you, and the reason I want to tell you is not because I want you to know all my business. It's because I want to be able to help people. Oh my God, what's going on with the rabbits? What happened with my friend? Oh, I just moved on. No, I didn't block her, but whatever. I just moved on. Seriously, I was very heartbroken, and I moved on. Um. Oh my God, if I tell you now, like we're gonna be here longer. You want me to tell you what it is? I I'm gonna tell you. I have to. I want to make videos about it, and you're gonna find out. Okay, okay, but it's kind of a long story, so spill the tea. All right, listen, it's not a bad thing, okay? And like a lot of people, they do this and they brag about it. Okay, I got I got breast implants. Okay, not recently. I got breast implants, and it's kind of a long story. So what happened was I actually had a breast reduction. Oh, hi, Olivier. Okay. Now, you know, a lot of influencers, a lot of like very popular people on social media, they actually like make videos and brag about getting their boob implants. And they're like, I mean, you know, they're proud of it. They don't they don't hide it. They're like, yeah, look, I'm a triple D now. And like, you know, showing their cleavage. And like, I remember Trisha Paytas getting her boob implants and being like, and let me tell you what happens when you get your boob implants. You get ready to rake in the money. And I was like, yeah. Okay, so what happened was I had naturally very large breasts as a young person, as a young girl. I had really big boobs, like bigger than anybody else I knew. I had like, you know, melon-sized boobs. And they, you know, big boobs are heavy and they're a bit saggy because they're so big. They have to go somewhere. They're not going to come out like torpedoes. So I had what I thought was like saggy big boobs. And I had this something they call fibrocystic breast disease, which is not really a disease. It's just like some different kind of breast tissue. Yes, Olivier, you tune in just in time to hear the tea. I still have to go do tape up and chill, but whatever. So, yes, I had like natural watermelons, and I was really young, right? And they hurt like you wouldn't believe. They hurt me every day. I would wake up. Okay, just to give you an idea. Okay, well, it's all dark here. You can't see anything, but bigger than this, like big, huge, you know, like you can't see anything now, but like okay, if like a melon size, you know, like big melon, like a cantaloupe, um like heavy cantaloupes. So I would wake up, and if I'd been sleeping on my side, this whole side hurt so much. I'd wake up and like, because of this lumps that I had, I don't exactly understand how this works, but it hurt all the time. It hurt every morning. I'd be like and going down the stairs, I had to like hold my chest to go down. Very like try to be discreet, but I'd have to like kind of hold my chest to go down the stairs. I couldn't run. I couldn't dance. I couldn't do sports. I couldn't go down the stairs. I was just in pain. Like my boobs were like, they were just hurting. It was called fibrocystic breast disease, which like I feel like Googling it now because I'm not sure that it's really a disease or some kind of hormonal issue. You had cystic breasts. So yeah, okay. So what happened was I got pretty fed up with my boobs and I didn't like the way they looked. Although in retrospect, I think they were fine, but that's because I'm a mature woman now. But at the time, when I was in my early 20s, I wasn't satisfied. So hold on, let me just check that my thing is not going to die. Oh, okay, good. So I started looking into getting a breast reduction. And I felt like it would just free me and then I wouldn't have these big heavy boobs, these pendulous things. And I knew that if your boobs are a certain size, they do it on Medicare. So I didn't have money, so I was like, yeah, I think I'd like to get a breast reduction. But I had some reservations about it. So I had it scheduled. And then I postponed it, and I had it scheduled again, and I postponed it again. And the doctor had told me that he would bring me down to a large C. And he told me he had to take off at least 250 grams. That's all he told me. And he would do like a lift. Well, we rescheduled the surgery a third time. Honestly, if you're young and you have any misgivings about surgery or anything else, okay. Oh, bye, Kanga. Okay, well, I'm glad you're doing better. Yeah, if you're planning surgery or something else and you have some reservations, don't do it. So I was so young, and the third time I didn't feel right about it. But I thought, I don't want to postpone it again. The doctor will be mad at me. And I was afraid that if I canceled the surgery again, then he would say, I'm not dealing with you anymore. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna operate on you. So I went ahead and did it. And yeah, I should never have done that. Stupid people pleaser that I was. I was 22 years old. And I wasn't well informed about the surgery. And I thought the doctor would be mad. So I went and did it. And when I woke up, my breasts were like gone. I was shocked. They were so small. There was nothing left. I said, what happened? And he told me, I said, you said you were going to take off 250 grams. And he said, yes, but by law, if it's on Medicare, I have to take off as much as I can. And I was like, oh my God, you didn't tell me that. I woke up from that operation and I went into like a freak out. I was like, where did they go? Oh my God. Because remember, I had these giant cantaloupes and now I was like a B cup. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. No, he's not evil, but these doctors, like, they don't care, I guess. All he had to do was tell me minimum 250, but I have to take off as much as I possibly can. I did not know. Yeah, Canadian healthcare. Now, probably if I had paid for it myself, it was out of pocket, and I would have said, just take off this much, he would have done that. But he was supposed to take off as much as possible. So I woke up and I was like, where are my breasts? And I was really horrified. And I remember I got so upset that I was like in a tizzy, and I ran into the bathroom and I slammed the door, and I had my finger in the door jamb, and I slammed the door on my own finger, and then they had to take me for an x-ray, and it was just really like horrible, Like, I came home, and there's more to the story, but I don't want to get into that. But anyway, I did heal from it. They didn't look bad, but the problem was, when was this? This was in 1994. The problem is when you have breasts that have a certain width, like mine are, this is how wide they are naturally, okay? They're this wide, and they were also very full. You cannot take all the tissue off because there's a certain width. There's certain proportions. So what happened was, when he took all that off, it was like my breast was missing the top half. So it still had the width, and the bottom part had some fullness to it. And this was completely like empty. And imagine, like, the nipple was like on the top, on the flat part. It was like this whole upper part, this was all gone. So for 2 years, I cried about it. And I was just traumatized. Yeah, it sucked. It really sucked. And so finally, my father bought me some breast implants. He paid for the surgery because he was like, oh, I feel so bad for you. So I got these small implants. They're not big. It was just to fill out the upper part. Yeah, I felt really bad. And I actually went to contact a lawyer about suing him because of like him not telling me what he was going to do. And the lawyer just said to me, look, there's a gray area between the ideal result, like the ideal what you wanted versus what the best he could do at the time, or like the best result versus the best possible result versus your ideal result or something. Anyway, the lawyer basically said, listen, it's Canada and it's very hard to sue anyone. But I literally went to a lawyer and I was like, this is not right. He took off so much. He couldn't even work with the rest. Like, I mean, look, if you saw them, you wouldn't say, "Oh my God, you're disfigured," but it was like the top half of my breast was like totally scooped out. I'm just looking at your comment there. Mm. Yeah, so my dad finally took pity on me after 2 years, and he paid for me to get these implants. And when I got them, this was in 1996, he said, they told me, well, you're supposed to get them changed every 10 years. And I was like, yeah, whatever. Because when you're young, you know, you don't really think about long range. So then, about 12 years ago, I went to see somebody to take them out and to replace them actually at the time. And he said to me, well, you know, if they're not bothering you, I wouldn't bother. I would just leave them alone. He just basically said, if you don't need a surgery, don't do it. But I said, well, it's been more than 10 years. It's been like, how many years? Oh, it had been about 15 years. And I was like, well, you know, I think, no, that's not why I have restless legs. That's from my pregnancy. That's not related to that. Yeah, I had a breast reduction, but you'd have to hear the story, which I just told about why I had it. It was on Medicare. And you know, the funny thing is that I don't regret having the breast reduction per se, because having that gave me a lot of freedom. I didn't have the pain anymore. I was able to run. I didn't have to hold my chest going down the stairs. I didn't wake up in pain. I didn't have these crazy um, like issues with my breasts all the time. So that was all really good. The problem was he took off a lot more than he said. He took off about, it was 1.5 times as much. So I could have used that extra 150 grams that he took out. He should have left it in. I think that would have made a difference. So yeah, my dad paid for the implants, and like 15 years later, I went to see somebody, and I was like, maybe you take him out, you know. And he was like, oh, you know, you're not having any issues with him, just leave him. Well, about 10 years ago, I started having like this fatigue that I just couldn't shake, and all the things I was doing before, or maybe it's more like 8 years, they just weren't working anymore. The juicing wasn't working, like nothing was working. I know, bless his heart, my dad, seriously, he was really like, I don't know where I'd be if it wasn't for him. Yeah, he was really a loving father, and yeah, I appreciate that he did that. He actually did that for me. And like I didn't have any issues with them for a very long time. I just kind of moved on. I didn't really like that I had them. I was like, I would prefer not, but I couldn't live with what they did, the butchery of my breast reduction. It was just so awful. I couldn't stand it. So, and you know, when you're young, these things are very important to you. So yeah, I told, so then what was it, like 12 years ago, they were like, no, don't worry about it. But then I started having like this fatigue, and I would get like these dizzy spells, and you know, all these things I've been talking about, like this pain that's just like all over, and I don't know where it's coming from, and like feeling foggy, and like every year, like everything just gets harder and harder, and I just don't have the energy. And you guys can literally see it in my videos. I was so much more like alive. Now it's like I constantly feel like I'm like suppressed, like there's a sleeping pill or something. Um, so yeah, it's like everything just got harder every year, and it's like it never got better. And first I thought, oh, maybe it's menopause, and then I went on hormones, and that didn't do it. And then I thought maybe it's my thyroid, and the thyroid, apparently no, like the hormones levels were normal, and you know, nobody could figure out what it was. And then somebody had brought up breast implant illness, and I was like, no, I don't think so, you know. And then after exhausting all the other options, I was like, you know, maybe it is that, maybe that's what it is. Because like when I look at the symptoms that they have, like I have so many of them, I really do. And I mean, look, they've been in there since 1996. You know, they're what, 27 years. They need to come out. You know, they're saline. But do you have implants, moral nomad? You know, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of reasons people can feel like that, but I mean, seriously, like it doesn't make sense. You guys know how I was. I was like so full of energy, and it's like it's just like somebody just pulled the plug. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, I mean, it could have been also because I was on a medication that was helping with my restless legs, and then I decided to get off it, and then after that my sleep got really bad because I didn't have the medication anymore. And then I was trying to with the kratom tea because of my legs keeping me up all night, you know. And then I stopped the kratom tea, but my sleep is not good. So I wasn't sure, like, am I just like really destroyed? You guys saw the videos I made during Vlogmas. I watched them after and I was like, wow, like I have a serious problem. Like seeing myself on camera, I was like, oh my God, looking at it objectively, I was like, man, I have like severe fatigue and pain like so many days. And I thought, yeah, it is pretty bad. And I thought, is that because I just don't sleep well, that it's like a cumulative sleep deficit, that's why I have this pain? Or is it something else? And then when I put those foot pads on, what happened was my sleep was a lot deeper and I didn't have the pain. You know, I really just didn't have it. You know, and that's something people say, it sucks getting older. And you know what? It does. But like there are women in their 20s who get breast implants who have the same problem that I have. And there's women who are my age who don't have like crushing fatigue. Most people, like considering this started when I was about 40, most people at 40, they're not crushed by fatigue to the point where it's hard to function. And I've been trying to keep just doing everything I do and only by forcing myself through it for like the last 10 years. You know, it's been like that for a while. I think that my breast implants are doing something bad to me. That's what I think at this point. I think that it's a factor. Oh, wait, what's this? Manda? Oh, thank you. Well, I'm glad that it's encouraging you. Yeah, my son's turning out okay. He's turning out pretty good. Still autistic, but he's turning into a cool person, you know, so he's okay. So yeah, I think that I might have breast implant illness. So I made an appointment with the doctor on the 23rd of this month who specializes in breast implant illness and in removal. And what he does is he removes it en bloc, which means with the whole capsule, which is kind of scary. Yeah, I'm sorry that you have lupus. That's heavy. I don't have any autoimmune disease, and when they measure my CRP, they say my inflammation is low. So look, either it's my sleep disorder is actually so bad that it's like giving me brain damage and it's just screwing me up and giving me pain and fatigue because I just never am able to really sleep properly. Or it's my breast implants. It's gonna be one or the other. But you know what? They have to come out anyway. Because my mother, the way she slid into dementia was when she had her implants removed. Because she was like 80 years old when they took them out and she had to have 3 blood transfusions. And if you look into it, surgery after 65 carries a risk of triggering dementia. And that's scary. And that was one of the reasons I didn't want to get them out because I was like, oh my God, what if I come out and I end up getting dementia like my mother? Yeah, go look it up. I was scared. And then I was just like, you know what? I have to do it. They can't stay in there forever. They're saline, but it's still a foreign body. Maybe if I leave them in much longer, I'm going to develop autoimmune disease. I don't know. They have to come out. I don't want to have surgery. I don't want to deal with it. I don't know what they're going to look like after. I don't know if I want to get a lift with it because they're going to take out my implants. Actually, what color shirt am I wearing? Oh, another black shirt. Okay, wait a second. Since we're talking about this, because I know you're wondering like how much of it is implant. Okay, hold on a second. I have my undershirt here. Okay. I should do like a bunch of videos with my giant tatas. See, I never showed them, right? Imagine if I just like showed you my boobs in all my videos, how much money I could have been making on YouTube with these giant tatas of mine. Okay, so if you're wondering, I know I should have taken advantage of it. And me, I'm like, that's not the Christian thing to do. I should have just done it anyway. Missed an opportunity there. I had an opportunity for like 10 years. Like, and back in the early 2010s when I was really popular, I should have just shown my boobs in every single video. I wouldn't be living in this crappy apartment maybe if I'd done that. But anyway, I was like trying to have some principles and like not do it, you know, not sell myself out. Should have just done it though, seriously. What was I thinking? Anyway, so stupid. So I just wanted to show you like, okay, you saw it, like see how it moved? Okay, so that's my implant. So this is my boob, okay? Like I still have plenty of boob. This is all my boob down here. And this is my implant up here. And they're way too high. when you see like round like that, that's an implant. There's always implant. And if I move, yeah, you see the shape there? Implants here, the implants on the third floor, my boobs are in the basement, basically. So there it is. Ew. That's my implant. And that's my boob though. It's not like I don't have boobs. They're still there, but that's my implant up here. Anyway, there you go. So basically I think like maybe, wait, is it half? When I look at it from the top, like all the width and all the fullness is there on the bottom, but probably the whole upper half of my boob it's an implant. So I don't know what they're going to look like when I get them out. I wanted to tell you guys about this for ages. How are they going to look when I get them out? There's an implant. I can like hold it up there. See, that's it. That's the implant right there. And there's my boob, what's left of it. So gross. Seriously though, like, I know, and it's bad because like I can't do like the sit-ups where I go like this, because there's something about like you can't like hold yourself and like bring your legs up. I want to exercise without having to worry about my boobs are gonna fly into my armpit, because they're pretty loose. Like I can move them around, like so the implant can go like all the way over here. Look, it's gonna come out in my armpit. You know, I'm hoping that that's a good sign. Approaching my collarbone. Yeah, look. Wait, where's it? I'll try to pop it up again. Ew. And that's something though, I was always worried like, oh, people are gonna see it. I was grossed out by my own implants. Hold on. No, seriously, like, so this was in the 90s, and at the time, they'll look like yours. Starting to drop a bit. Oh, I'm pretty sure mine have dropped like a lot already. Maybe there's a market for that though. I don't know. Maybe it's not too late for me. I'll be like, hello, Sonia here with another saggy boob video. I'll be like, well, I should have done it before when I had those expensive implants. I could have like made lots of money, but I missed my chance, and now I'm trying to relive those years that I lost by showing you my saggy titties. Okay, look. No, you wouldn't have known. Yeah, well, I mean, I guess they look pretty okay because it was only this part. That's the implant. But I'm sick and tired of it. Honestly, I'm sick and tired of having them. I think this one is also like broken. I think it has a slow leak. Oh, my son is doing like Mongolian throat singing again. It's so distracting. Wait, Leslie, hi. No, I didn't see your comment. Sorry, doll. I didn't see it. I don't know, man. Okay, look, back in the 90s. Okay, so I had these giant boobs, and they were actually in the 90s, giant boobs were in style. I got the reduction first. Then I changed my mind. I wanted big boobs like everybody else. I mean, also, they were kind of deformed, but at the time, big boobs were in style. And if you had like implanty looking boobs, it was in style. Now I joined a group. It's called like Nicole's Help for Breast Implant Illness or something like that. And like all these women are posting their before and after pictures, and I'm thinking, man, those implants look horrible. They look totally fake. Like the boobs look like they're gonna explode. It looks like there's pressure in there. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look natural. And it's weird, like how our tastes change, you know, as a society. You can hear Gunnar in the back with the Mongolian throat singing. Well, now when I see the before and after of the women having their implants removed, I think every single one of them looks better without. They look better with their natural small breasts, my opinion. But years ago, I thought the implants looked good. Now I'm like, what was I thinking? It looks so fake, you know? Wait, somebody asked me a question. I already forgot it was. No, I don't feel self-conscious about them. It's just that like when I try to exercise, they'll pop up. Like if I do certain things at the gym, they'll be like boom, like they'll come up like I showed you before, and I feel like that looks weird. Do I regret it? Yeah, that's Olivia asked me that. No, I don't actually regret, because I don't regret the breast reduction because I had very painful breasts. that had to do with the fibrosis or whatever that I had. It was really like making me feel very limited, and I was, yeah, like I couldn't dance, like I couldn't do a lot of things. I couldn't go downstairs, like I said before. So I don't regret that I had a reduction. I don't regret that I got the implants because at the time, for my mental health, I needed them. And I think they served me well for a long time. Um, but I mean, my recommendation to anyone now would be don't do anything to your body in the first place. Like, try not to alter it. Don't mess with your breasts. I mean, especially in terms of like putting plastic in there, probably better you don't do it. People do things though, you know, what can you say? If I could talk to my 22-year-old self, I'd say wait, because I almost let them go. I'm totally ready to let them go. I almost postponed that surgery, the reduction a third time. I should have done it. I just really wanted the breast reduction and I didn't have the money. And for me, that was the only way I could get it, was to get it on Medicare. I had no idea he was going to take off so much more than he said. I just didn't know. If he had not done that, probably I would have not got the implants, you know? Because I've seen other girls who had boob reductions that looked really good, but mine was just, it was overkill and nobody talked to me. And it turned out actually that the shape I have of breast is something they call pseudoptotic. That's with pseudoptotic, which means looks like it's saggy, but it's not. So it's not actually a saggy breast. It's just particularly wide and it starts high up. So it always looks like, you know, if here's your rib cage, there's always like a space of contact between the breast that's like long on the side. So it looks like you have saggy breasts, but you don't really. It's just a different kind of breast. I never knew. I never knew. I never heard this until much later. One person tried to tell me, your breasts aren't saggy, they just start higher up. But I was like, what are you talking about? I did not know. I could have used, you know, I could have used like a scientific explanation, you know, because I had a complex about them at the time. But anyway, yeah. So that's the thing. Like basically, yeah, I think I might have like a breast implant illness, and even if I don't, I really need to get them out now because they've been in there for 20 something years, like 26 years, and I don't want to wait until I'm older. And I just spent all my money on travel. I guess now I'm going to spend all my money on, I mean, credit card, like I racked up bills with the travel. I guess now I'm going to have to rack up bills with surgery, but I need to do it. Like, I feel like I really want them out. I don't like to think about the fact that I have them in. I mean, I'm not like walking around all day going like, oh, I want these out. But I feel like at my age now, it's not so important. Oh, hey, Scott, I'm going to answer your question. Remind me again if I forget. It's not so important to have big boobs at this point. And if you're wondering, was I able to breastfeed? Absolutely. And I was really happy and very relieved. And I breastfed my son for 3 years. And he has the most fantastic tooth and jaw development, probably thanks to that. I just brought him to the dentist the other day, and the doctor he was like, oh, hey, Vicky. How's it going? The dentist was like, your son has the most perfect tooth and jaw development. He has better than 99% of people. I said, well, I breastfed him for 3 years. And because you know this trend they call mewing, where they put their tongue up against the roof of their mouth? Well, that's what the breast is doing. You put the breast in the child's mouth and it's pushing and it's opening the palate and it widens the palate. Now, I mean, it's basically the same thing as having a palate expander or mewing, except it's free. And my son has not needed any orthodontics. His teeth are completely perfect. You know, like, you know, when you see these tribal people in places, like you see people in Africa and they have like gorgeous teeth, they're all perfect, big, wide bridge here, beautiful teeth, because they don't wean them and put them on formula and they're little, yeah, there's like the breast is pressing and it's a fantastic thing. And it's too bad that people are hung up on weaning their children early, because then, yeah, good, okay, wean your child and then you're gonna have to spend $10,000 on braces later, you know. So yes, I breastfed my son. I did it for 3 years. It went well. How's Karen? She's good. I actually made a video about her with her the other day. Oh yeah, he has amazing teeth. Yeah, and it's this constant pressure on the palate. It just like broadens the whole face. Yeah, Trish is good. We actually went to the not Trish because Trish was asking me. Um, Karen is good. We went to the flea market the other day. I made a video about it. I have a couple of videos of my thrifting exploits, my new hobby. Oh, Vicky, you've been having dental work. I was thinking about you today in the car. I almost called you. It was around like 6 o'clock. Yes, 3 years is a long time. Some people do it even longer than that. She had hers done. What, her teeth out, not her boobs. Oh, yeah, okay, Leslie. Yes, the fat transfer. Like there's mixed reviews about it. Some people get transfer and it necrotizes and it doesn't go well at all, and other people it goes really well. If I ever did it, it would have to be. I mean, because look, I'm gonna have the same problem I had before. The whole top of my boobs is gonna be scooped out. It's gonna be like empty up here. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Even if they do a lift, it's gonna be like all this top part's gonna be empty. What am I gonna do? Not like a lot of people are looking at my boobs. Aaron, when I told him I'm going to get my implants out, he was like, "What? You're not going to have your nice cleavage anymore?" And I was like, "I think they're making me sick, you know?" Oh, salty. Yeah, I know. I see a lot of stuff on Telegram all the time too. I watch to keep telling you, I watch Dr. Campbell and oh god, Sunil Dand, Vinay Prasad, Mobeen Syed, and John Campbell. They'll pretty much give you the whole lowdown. Oh, and what's his name? Dr. Hong's Pharmacy? Yeah, he's good too. See, Babu is already starting with the negative comments. I told you, Babu always does that. See, that it's almost like trolling. Hey, Babu, are you doing it on purpose? Because Babu has like been my viewer for a very long time, so I consider her like one of the truther fam, you know. But it's like the auntie who always has something to say. It's kind of weird. Yeah. So that exactly, and those are the kind of comments that people would make, like, "Isn't he too old? Don't they eat food?" But there's a lot of other reasons, which I don't want to get into now, about why people breastfeed for extended time. Yeah, I heard a lot about that. Of course. Yeah, Babu's like the auntie who always has something negative to say. Is she like that in real life? If she's not like that with her kids, those kids are gonna need therapy. Seriously. Um, No, I don't want to take Babu out of the chat though. Like Babu's part of the family. She's just like our annoying auntie. Babu, what's up? Auntie, stop it, auntie. Yeah, Babu's like the one person who kind of always sees things the other way. Sometimes I wonder if like it's like a lack of social skills that like trolling is the only way to like get engagement. Some people like they don't know how to like interact normally and like nicely, so they'll like troll you just to get a rise out of you, that kind of thing. Anyway, it's okay. Most of the time she's nice. It's just sometimes these comments, though. Seriously, kind of person I can imagine living with Babu as your auntie or your mom and like constant arguments. I don't know. I would move out. Sorry, Babu. But we're not gonna kick you out though, even though you're a pain in the ass. Um, your doctor breastfed her kids till 6 years old. Wow, they must have fantastic teeth. Wait, what's this? He's jealous of your tatangas. Oh, my tatangas. I'm gonna get rid of my tatangas. Vicky, did you hear that part? I'm gonna have to get my boobs out with drag. My favorite song? I don't even know. Oh, probably like it's a Chopin. Is it a Polonaise? Yeah. No, I'm not tall at all. I'm a shrimp. I just have really short legs. This is my dirty secret. Remember the good old days on YouTube? Yeah, I sure do. Babu, Babu, my Indian auntie. Oh my gosh, you guys, I live with so many Indians. I'm seriously starting to do this. And it's like the one habit I did not want to pick up. It's crazy, man. You know what? People call it cultural appropriation. I have a new term for it. It's cultural absorption. We absorb from the people around us. I'm starting to absorb Indian stuff. I'm a good fit with the Indians anyway because they're so chatty like me. But yeah, like if you ever see me doing this, oh no, could have picked up something else. Like I mean, it's not the coolest thing, in my opinion. Like, no offense, but yeah, like the head. I'll start doing it. You know, that's what happens when you live with a lot of Indians. But like Babu is like an Indian name, you know, it's like uncle or something. Babu, stop eating the gulab jamun. He started talking like Ms. Rochelle. Yeah. Yeah, pick up an English accent. It's cultural absorption, you guys. I wanted you to see Gunner's teeth. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I have a lot of Indian neighbors. They're the best. Seriously. I wouldn't want to have like any other kind of neighbors. They're my favorites. For now, anyway. I've had a good experience with them. Nice people. Hey, you know what? Actually, listen. You guys watch a lot of Telegram videos. You know when you see people doing the death spiral where they're like, right? You see that happening in China and people just like step back. You see that happening in India and everybody comes running, right? Tells you something. I know I shouldn't be doing an Indian accent because I'm not Indian. But I mean I'm just absorbing. I'm sorry. I could do a Spanish accent though. But then, you know, YouTube might flag me. And I'll have to provide my 23andMe result that tells them like I'm 1/5 Spanish. I'm Hispanic. You guys. Who knew? No wonder I always wanted to learn Spanish. I didn't even know I was Spanish. I'm only 1/5, but still. Oops. Oh, Apu, yeah. I loved Apu. See, that's not nice. Like, they canceled Apu from The Simpsons. Why? Because he's Indian? That's kind of like, I think that's kind of racist, you know? That's not cool. Oh, a stroke? Really? And then she survived? Oh, see, there's Babu again, you know? Yes, but it wasn't only 23andMe. It was also my ancestry or my heritage. They pretty much figured it out. I thought I was Italian. All this time I was like, yeah, it's the Italian to me. That's why I'm so chatty. And they're like, no, you're Spanish. I was like, okay, great. I get to do a Spanish accent on YouTube. Because I can do an Italian one anyway, because it's okay, because Italians are white, you know? So now, I get to do an extra accent. Well, I wouldn't be like, it's not like a Mexican. Well, actually, I can't do the European one. I'm screwed. I can only do a Mexican accent. I hope I don't get banned. Anyway, I wanted to show you Gunner's teeth before I go. Oh no, Sky. Oh my gosh, your friend died in her sleep. Um, that happened to the friend of someone from my church. They were messaging in the group chat that one of their friends who's only 47 died in their sleep the other day. So this seems to be going around. It's scary times. I mean, seriously, you guys, that's why I'm like, you know, if somebody told you have like 1 year to live or you have 5 years to live and you thought about like, how would you like to spend those last few years? I'm pretty sure most of us would not say, I'd like to be sitting on my computer in my dark room, like reading stuff on Telegram. You know, I want to be doing more interesting things. Yes, a lot of people waking up dead lately. Oh, that's awful. Ice Age Farmer? Where is Ice Age Farmer? I hope nothing happened to him. Gunner! Could you come here for 1 second? I know, it's really awful. And it's like, we don't really know why this is happening. I mean, I'm sure it's not the gardening or the climate change, but we don't really know what it is, eh? We don't really know. Why? Gunner, come here. I just want them to see your beautiful teeth. Huh? Show them your lovely teeth. I was just telling them. Come here. Show them how straight your teeth are. Just be a good boy. Look at these perfect teeth. No, show them the smiley part. Look at these. Look at these beautiful teeth. That's what happens when you breastfeed your kid for 3 years. Ah. Look at those choppers. So perfect. No orthodontics. You're a legend, he says. Yeah, he's a legend. Aren't they amazing? Beautiful teeth, right? Absolutely perfect. Totally straight. Like, really. Picobello. Yeah. That's what happens when you keep breastfeeding the heck out of your kids. I had to have all kinds of orthodontics. I had one stupid headgear. That was not good. And then braces and that whole deal. He just had a dental exam. He just had one, and he had like the x-ray and everything, and his wisdom teeth are coming in. So anyway, that's it. I guess I'm gonna go. See, it's always an hour and 40 minutes. I talk for that amount of time, and then it's like a little timer goes off in my head that's like, okay, time to shut up. um, so anyway, like there, I told you guys. So anyone who bothered to actually sit through this and listen just found out some, tea about me. It's much more fun for me to do the videos like this than to do them like talking to a camera. I'm so sick and tired of talking to a camera. Oh, he's doing the throat singing again. Yeah, he's tall now. He's like almost, oh, he's over 5'8". Well, I'm glad that you guys enjoyed this. Online exam? Oh, anyway, I guess that's it. I'm gonna go. And I'm gonna post a video about me and Karen checking out Saint Michel Flea Market. So you get to see how Karen's doing. Oh, thank you so much for a super chat. Love, love. Appreciate it. Thank you. Oh my gosh, Sonia, use my what? Use my boobs while I still have them. I'm not going to get rid of them anytime soon. I'm not going to do it in winter because it's like flu season. The last thing I want to do is like get the boobs out, and then it's flu. And also in the winter, Aaron needs me to do a lot of stuff. And apparently after that, I won't be able to move my arms, and like, who knows? How am I going to do that? I guess I'll have to get Sylvie to help take care of him. I'll be out of commission for a while. I don't know what's going to happen. You guys pray for me that it goes well, but I'm going to have to do it. I can't leave him in forever. So there, maybe I'll get addicted to plastic surgery, and that'll be my new thing, and then I'll have more videos about that. Stay tuned. Yeah, I think maybe I'll make some shorts. Like maybe I'll do some like shorts where Anita goes and like buys lottery tickets. Maybe I'll win a lottery ticket. Maybe I'll win the lottery. I'll get my face fixed. Yeah. So anyway, thanks for joining me, you guys. I'll do a video about it, and you guys have already kind of heard it here, but yeah, I will. Okay. Wait, do what? Buy a video? Buy a lottery ticket and win a lottery live? That's a good idea. I think I'm going to do that. I have to go tape Aaron up now. We always go to bed late. Turn into Madonna. Yeah. I mean, screw it. I've never had debt my entire life. I have debt now thanks to my early retirement vacation, my retirement travel. I might as well have debt for plastic surgery now while I'm at it. I mean, who cares, right? Already crossed that line. Okay, well, it was great seeing you guys. I love you. Thank you so much for joining me. Okay, thanks, and I'll see you next time. Have a good night, guys. Bye.